Okay, so what I thought we would do is just a couple more demonstrations of all of this. And so why don't we go ahead and have the spectator just choose, now these have been mixed actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 random cards. Okay, so we're not going to use an ordered packet anymore. Okay, so it can be freely mixed. Okay, now show the spectator the identity of the top card. Okay, so they're going to see this and you won't, right? So they see this, so I move it up here. So remember 2 of spades, you set it back on top. Now let me also bring up the shuffle graphic that we've used before for odd-sized packets so that you can just be reminded of some things that we've already gone over in the series. So what I'm asking you to do at this point, so the spectator's card is on top, right? Perform 1 Charlier 1 shuffle. Well, what does the Charlier 1 do? So here we are. We're looking at the top card of an odd-sized packet. Now remember, this is for odd-sized packets only here, and we have it. If you perform a Charlier 1, it is guaranteed to move the top card to the middle. That's interesting. So Charlier 1, do you remember that? You push off the top card, and then 1 from the bottom, 1 from the top. So you're doing this top to bottom, bottom to top. As I've mentioned, I have a video on the Charlier shuffle that goes through it and kind of teaches you how to do it if you're not clear on that. So the claim now is that their card that they just saw is in the middle. Why don't we just confirm that so that you can kind of see that that's true. So I have 6 cards over here. I have their 2 of spades, and then I have 6 cards above it. So yes, indeed, that top card got moved to the middle. Well, we know that the middle card for an odd-sized packet is a very special place to be, right? For a whole bunch of reasons. You know, the Klondike Shuffle brings it to the top. Repeat LR dealings will finish with that card. Here we're going to use personalized overcoatings, okay? And we've been doing these enough that I think I can just remind you that, okay, carry out some of those because you've done many of these. And so the idea is that you, in this case, since we have 13 cards, we would need to overcoat 7 or more cards, okay? And so here you could ask for values between 7 and 13 if you want. Or once again, if you can just use personalized information about them, their name, the month of their birthday, whatever it might be that you could use that would work for a personalized overcoating in this situation here. Okay, so you do 1 or more of those, and you have to realize that once you've done several of those, you know, you're counting out or spelling out something with so many letters in it, and you ask them, do you want me to do it again? Yes or no? And they say, yeah, do it again, that's fine. Well, none of these things could have been predicted by you. You could not predict what answers they're going to give you, okay, or how many times they'd ask you to do things, okay? But if it's a true overcoating, it leaves the middle card alone. So that special card that we're going to reveal in the end is safe. We know where it is. We don't really know anything else about any of the other cards. We honestly don't, unless you were somehow tracking them or something. But the fact that we started with random cards here, we honestly would not know anything. As the performer, you would know 0 except that the spectator's card that they saw at the top of the deck is in the middle, and it has stayed there because we have performed overcoatings. Okay, so once you've done a few of those, which really should convince the spectator that, okay, well, I don't know how this guy can do anything surprising with these cards because I just gave him all these crazy answers and he spelled them out for me. So right here, step 5, we're asked to perform 1 more Charlier 1. What will that do? Well, we know their card is in the middle, Well, if you remember, the Charlier 1 is one of the few shuffles, it's the only one that we've shown you on the diagram actually, that moves the middle card to the bottom. So it makes it all the more valuable since there aren't too many that I've discovered that actually accomplish that. So you just do a Charlier one more time. And I should also mention that for most people, if watching this, especially since the cards have already been scrambled using personal information provided by them, doing the Charlier 1, it just looks like those cards are being mixed to beyond the knowledge of anybody. So that if they were in any order at all, they're completely destroyed now as a packet. No one knows really anything about it. Well, we don't know much, but we know one thing. We know that the top card that they saw moved to the middle. It stayed in the middle despite all these overcoatings. And the Charlier 1 now has moved it to the bottom. So that's the one and only thing that we actually know. We know their card is on the bottom. We know that for sure, even though we haven't seen it. Okay? So you could actually, in some sense, finish from here if you wanted. I mean, you would not be using anything new that we've shown you today. We have not employed any of these new principles. Everything we've done so far could have been done before with principles that we've talked about. Overcoatings, preserving the middle card. We've been talking about that to wazoo. We've been showing you this diagram that allows you to move cards around, so that's just old information for this series. Okay, so it's only now that we're actually going to use some of these newer principles, even though I suppose you could stop here and just kind of surprisingly set that down and go, well, you know, I really don't have any idea what your card was, you know. And the spectator's staring at their card going, it's right there. And then you could really play it out and go, I don't know, maybe it's a face card, a number card. You could really turn this into a fun, silly thing and eventually say, well, I think it may actually be that card. I mean, what are the chances, you know? And the spectator will almost have a hard time not kind of revealing, that's my card. How did you get it down in the bottom? Okay, so you could have stopped before. I'm getting ahead of myself. But now, since it's on the bottom, that's where we need it to begin one of these standard overcoating routines. Okay, so at this point, we can use these newer principles if you would like. Choose any one of the words or names used in step 4. Isn't that interesting? We're all kind of set up for this because, well, you can use any one of these and then you just have to code it 3 times. And you could allow the spectator to choose. You can say, you know, just a moment ago we were kind of spelling out your name and your favorite ice cream and whatever, your favorite day of the week or whatever it was. What we're going to do is I want you to choose any one of those. You know, maybe your favorite answer among the answers you gave. And then we're going to see if this claim that 3rd time's a charm accomplishes amazing things. Sometimes just doing something twice, it just isn't enough. You have to do it a 3rd time, and then, you know, just the universe suddenly is on your side and everything lines up. Okay, so you're free to choose which of those words or names that we just used do you want me to work with to test this claim that 3rd time's a charm. And then they'll freely choose one of those names or words that you've overcoded. And let's say they choose, maybe they chose Saturday. Saturday was their favorite day of the week. Okay, so that has the right number of letters, right? There's 8 letters in the word Saturday, so that would work. So let's say that's the answer they gave. And so here, we're now moving into the new material and just say, okay, 3rd time's a charm, let's find out. So Saturday, Saturday, that's once. Saturday, that's 2. 3rd time's a charm, maybe, we'll see. Saturday. Is it true that third time's the charm? Well, how would we know? I don't know. See, how could we use what we've done here to kind of see if that really is the case? You know, and so I haven't really thought through exactly how you could finish this, but you could, you know, of course, their card is right there on top. Okay, so you could just reveal it and say, or even ask them and say, well, you know, would it be surprising if we find that the top card after all of this is actually your card, the card that, you know, the card that you saw? And they'll probably say, yes, that would be very surprising. And then sometimes it's good to just quickly review the series of steps and choices that were made by them along the way. You don't want to drag it out, but, you know, hit the highlights of how they gave key answers that really do affect the ordering of these cards. And then you can say, well, despite all of that, I think there really is something to this third time's the charm, because your card somehow has risen to the top. Okay? And so, as always, many of you are far more creative and would do better in drama school than I would. So if you want to sell it a certain way or come up with a fun narrative that would reveal the outcome and heighten the surprise for the spectator, you know, go ahead. You know, use your God-given talents to good effect here. Okay. So anyway, that is a very simple example of kind of third time's the charm, where we've used personalized information there.